del pasado viernes, que ya saben que fue de aproximadamente el 16-17%. ¿Qué está pensando Hapag Lloyd? ¿Qué impacto puede tener? ¿Qué va a pasar a partir de ahora? ¿Por dónde van a circular todos esos buques? Se entiende que alrededor de África, por eso tiene un coste y también un coste de tiempo, de retrasos en las entregas. Vamos a hablar con ellos, con Hapag Lloyd. Vamos a hablar con Nils Haupt, Senior Director de Corporate Communications en Hapag Lloyd. Nils, good afternoon. Thank you so much for attending Negocios Televisión.
You're welcome. Hi from Hamburg.
Nils, on Friday you announced that you were suspending journeys across the Red Sea until December 18th. Yesterday you updated your decision, which is that you don't have an end date yet for that suspension of the journeys across the Red Sea. Why did you take this decision? How unsafe is the situation now in the Red Sea?
Well, we took the decision because the passage through the canal and the Red Sea is dangerous, and it seems to remain dangerous for the time being. And we need to have safety and security for all our crews, for the ships, and for the cargo we have on board of our customers. This is why we decided to use the route around the Cape of Good Hope, which of course will take a lot more time, but which is the safer way to transport goods at the moment.
I wanted to ask you about the last part of your answer, about the time that it will take to go around Africa. But first of all, how many vessels a day were you sending across the Suez Canal, across the Red Sea, which now are rerouted along Africa?
Well, we are planning now until the end of the year, and it will be roughly 25 vessels, which we will send around the Cape of Good Hope.
How much is this? Is this number a big number, 25 vessels until the end of the year? How many containers are in each vessel, and therefore how many containers in total are being rerouted now?
Well, I mean, this is very different. We have smaller ships which can carry like 8,000 standard containers, or we have bigger ships with 15,000 standard containers. And of course, it depends on the destination of the cargo. So we have some ships going to the US East Coast, we have some ships going to the Mediterranean, and we have some ships going to North Europe. So I would guess that it's a few 100,000 containers which are transported until the end of the year by Hapag Lloyd. And some of them will arrive much later than anticipated earlier.
Hapag Lloyd is up more than 16% since last Friday in the stock market news. The market believes that this new route will increase freight costs, and it would be beneficial for your company, for Hapag Lloyd. Have you made an estimation on that increase in freight costs due to this new route?
Well, actually, at the moment, we are more thinking about the costs which are involved in that, because you have to take into account that customers have booked the cargo weeks ago, and now we are transporting this cargo, and unfortunately now we have to take a detour. And of course, these rates will not be increased, but customers who book cargo now might experience higher rates. So until the end of the year, we expect like additional fuel cost, which will be around a two-digit million euro amount.
Mm-hmm. You already spoke about the delay time, so I have to ask you about if you've already estimated the delay times in your delivery time after going all the way around Africa?
Yeah, I mean, this also depends on the destination of the vessel. If we look at the Eastern Mediterranean, to give you an example, normally from the Eastern Mediterranean to Singapore is 13 days through the canal. Without the canal, this is 31 days, so this is roughly 3 weeks more. If we look at the east coast of the United States, normally it is 25 days through the canal. This will be 31 days approximately going around the Cape of Good Hope. And if we look at Northern Europe, so you could add easily like 2 weeks at least.
What will be the impact on your earnings for Hapag Lloyd of all this situation?
This is very difficult to say, because you also have to take into account that there will be additional cost. I wouldn't be sure how much the increase will be, but of course, customers have to expect that rates will increase.
Going to transfer then, as you just said, this cost for customers?
Well, that is, at the moment, it is very difficult to say, because it is dependent on the destination. So when you could imagine if a trip is only a week longer, that there will be a different rate than if a trip is 3 or 3.5 weeks longer.
Do you believe that this international operation, Prosperity Guardian, I don't know if you've already listened or heard anything about it, but do you think that it might relieve the situation and eventually allow vessels going through the Red Sea again?
Well, we very much appreciate all activities which lead to a safer passage through the Red Sea and the canal. For the moment, for us, the passage through the canal and the Red Sea is too dangerous. We had experienced an attack on Friday, so the ship or the equipment was damaged. Fortunately, the crew is safe. So we think we will only use the canal if it is absolutely sure that there will be no harm for our crews, for the vessels, or for the cargo we are transporting.
When would you believe that this can happen? If there's been, say, for example, 1 week with no attacks?
Well, I don't have a crystal ball, and so first now we have to await that these ships are arriving, which will support the commercial shipping traffic through the canal and the Red Sea, and then we have to wait whether it works, and then we will decide whether we will pass the Red Sea and the canal again, or whether we will continue rerouting via the Cape of Good Hope.
Last question, Nils. Do you think that this situation might create a big disruption for international trade and eventually also for the Christmas season?
Well, I mean, we are coming from a period during COVID where we saw really a disruption of world trade and the disruption of the supply chains. I would not expect that this will be a global logistics crisis as we have seen it years ago. Yes, there will be an influence because cargo will be late, but I would not expect that shelves will be empty and that we will see a huge logistics crisis.
Nils Haupt, Senior Director at Corporate Communications at Hapag Lloyd. It's been a pleasure to have you here. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon.
Bueno, pues entre otras cosas, lo último que nos decía Nils, básicamente desde Hapag Lloyd, una de esas navieras que insisten en que no van a permitir la circulación de sus buques, de sus barcos a través del Mar Rojo, a través del Canal de Suez, hasta que no se determine que la situación es segura para sus tripulaciones, que nos decía, no tenemos la bola de cristal para saber cuándo va a ser segura, si es cuando ya hayan pasado, imagínense, 3 días sin ataques, 1 semana. No lo saben todavía, no se están planteando cuándo pueden volver a circular a través del Mar Rojo. Pero nos decía ahora, no pensamos que esta situación vaya a generar una crisis logística mundial como ya ocurrió hace 2 años a la vuelta del coronavirus. Por lo tanto, lo que dicen es, no va a haber estanterías vacías, como ya tuvimos hace 2 años cuando era una de las imágenes prácticamente antes de la temporada navideña, pero algo de disrupción lógicamente va a causar. También nos estaba hablando de cuántos buques se esperaba que circularan a través del Mar Rojo y que ahora van a tener que dar toda la vuelta a África. Nos decía, son 25 buques, le preguntábamos cuántos contenedores pueden ir en cada uno de esos buques y nos avisaba, claro, de que esto es bastante dispar. En un buque hay, bueno, distintos tamaños y por lo tanto caben distintos números de contenedores. Pero además también nos hablaba de los plazos de entrega y los retrasos que están esperando para esos plazos de entrega. Nos hablaba, por ejemplo, de las destinaciones distintas que hay, entre ellas, por ejemplo, nos decía el este del Mediterráneo, decía que para llegar hasta aquí, normalmente a través del canal, se pueden tardar 13 días y dando toda la vuelta a África se podrían tardar hasta 31 días, es decir, prácticamente más que duplicar la cantidad de tiempo que se tarda o que tardaría en llegar esa mercancía al lugar de destino, en este caso el este del Mediterráneo. Muy interesante esta entrevista que hacíamos con Hapag Lloyd, una de las navieras que ha suspendido sine die, sin final todavía, esa navegación a través del Mar Rojo, a través del Canal de Suez, uno de los canales más importantes del mundo. Y miramos, por supuesto, cómo está cotizando también su acción. Ya saben que Hapag Lloyd es una de las grandes navieras que, como digo, ha suspendido esos viajes. Y bueno, pues hasta ahora, desde el pasado viernes, estaba repuntando bastante en bolsa. Por cierto, hablando de bolsa, tenemos que volver a Wall Street y ahora sí ya saludar a Jordi Martí, que es